Starting off this reading with the Hangman, it's surrounded by both good and bad energy, which makes me feel like you're really anticipating something good to happen to you, that you've spent a lot of time with yourself with the Nine of Pentacles. Feels like, I wouldn't say it's hermit energy, not necessarily in isolation, but it feels like you've been accepting yourself or being with yourself lately or in the past couple of months within this energy. There's a sense of satisfaction with that, like you're feeling pretty good with who you are or where you are in life. And yet still there's this energy around you of something very heavy, because I kind of feel like there's something that you really want, a manifestation, something to come in that just hasn't come in for you. And it's kind of like you're saying to yourself, okay, like I feel good and things are good the way that they're going, but I still really want this desire to come to fruition. So obviously for a lot of you, this is about love or relationships, but this could be like a career path, a job. And I feel like now you're kind of getting impatient with something that you've thought about, something that you kind of feel coming, and yet it's not here. So now there's this impatience that's kind of creeping in on you. So it's like some days you feel fine and other days you may be upset or frustrated or what have you. Because you kind of feel like you're doing something for the universe in order to get something back from it. And I'm not sure if that's the way that you should be moving forward with this. It's almost like there's another way. We have the Star and the Ace of Pentacles. Your focus should still be on yourself. Not what you want, not your impatience. It's almost like the way that you've been moving forward is the way that you should continue to move forward. Just don't give in or don't pay attention to the impatience. So there is a divine timing that's coming into play here. And that Ace of Pentacles is kind of showing me that the universe is going to present to you a gift, a goodie bag, something sweet. But it should be when you're still focused on your healing. So it's like, when you actually don't want what you want is when it comes, which unfortunately is almost like a catch-22, but you need to be in, I'm hearing in my head, negative space, which is a terrifying book, but you need to be in this space of nothingness, of not holding on to anything and not wanting anything. And you do that through continuing to be connected and be one with yourself. There's obstacles coming up right now that are taking the form of these frustrations that you have or these annoyances that are popping in, but you're meant to not let that deter you from the work that you've been doing, which seems to be some kind of satisfaction or connectivity to you and who you are. What this is also doing for you right now is you're entering a new chapter of self, of this work that you've been doing, that is going to focus a lot more on your wisdom and your intuitive power. So there's going to be a lot of messages coming to you more frequently and more often. And that's what this timing is for right now. Something's not coming to you yet because you're still meant to be understanding new aspects of your intuition and your power. Now, some of you in the collective are at different places when it comes to your intuitive development. For some, this is simply being able to listen to yourself, to what you want on a very basic psychological level, because that was taken away from you for whatever reason by your caretakers or by society. But for others, this is also going to be more dreams coming to you, more premonitions, more gut feelings, more intuition, more messages from spirit, from your higher self. It's going to come in a lot of different ways for a lot of different people. But that's going to be your sign that something's coming to you quickly, or that you're doing the right thing, that you're on the right path. That number one, there is the impatience of something being delayed. You can feel it coming, but it's delayed. And number 2, your intuition becomes stronger. What you need to know for the next month coming up ahead. This is a timeless reading, so whenever it comes, whenever the next 30 days will be, right? We have the Wheel of Fortune. There's going to be some pretty major changes here. You might be a little bit scared of that. You're scared of like the bad happening as the changes come in. This isn't happening yet, but there's going to be something pretty big happening to you. And I think one of your first responses is that you're going to be scared that something good will be taken away or something bad will happen. So this is probably an opportunity that's happening to you, but it makes you scared. The bad is going to miss you, if that makes any sense. It's not actually going to, nothing bad is going to happen. And your intuition is going to be able to guide you through this. So whatever this major change is coming in, I wouldn't be scared. Queen of Swords. King of Cups. Knight of Wands, the Magician, Page of Cups. I'm hearing reunion. For a lot of you, this will be romantic in context. For others, this is going to be something different. I feel that you're a little bit caught in between 2 different types of people or 2 different types of energies. As you're kind of sitting with yourself and sitting in your power, there's somebody coming in with a very strong pull. This could be a water sign or a fire sign. So Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. But I see this person, I don't even know if this would make sense to you. Their energy comes in before they actually come in, and it tries to pull you toward them. It's almost like you start feeling this person and then they come to you or they appear to you, but the energy is so strong behind them. So that energy is intentional with this person. You may just be picking up intuitively about this person, this communication from this person. So you're going to start talking to somebody new or somebody's reappearing from the past. Trust your intuition on this. It's not leading you astray as these major changes take place. And I feel like you're kind of questioning if somebody feels the way that you think they do, or if somebody has the intentions that you think they have. And I think for most of you watching, your intuition is going to be correct. That will reveal itself to you, their true intentions or their true feelings. But in the beginning, they kind of come off as this very low-key, very subtle. It's the energy behind them that you're really picking up on and reading with this person. But there's another energy around you in the future. This feels like a Gemini, Aquarius, maybe Libra. There's somebody in your future who is showing you through their words how they feel. They're actually giving you examples of their intentions. With this other person, there's no guesswork. With the other person, you're completely guessing based on the energy that you're picking up on. So I would like to say that one of these people is not giving you much about how they feel or what they think. And it's up to you to fill in those blanks, which is something that you've probably done before, but now you're doing it because you seem to be more intuitive. Doesn't make that person a good partner to be with if they're not giving you something up front and making you guess. That's a red flag of behavior. But I do see this other person really just putting it all out there for you. And I kind of see that you're not as interested in that person, probably because there's no flair, there's no drama, right? You're much more captivated by the person who's sending you all of this energy that you're able to interpret, that you're able to understand, and yet it's still guesswork. It's still kind of a game at the end of the day, but they have your attention in the near future. So then we have the King of Wands, Death, and Judgment coming in for what's coming next in this story. I do see you making a decision, which, to be honest, kind of feels like you do turn your back on somebody who's not coming through in the physical. So while a good relationship presents itself, I feel like the one that is not really there physically is kind of what you close out of. Death and Judgment. There's finality behind something here. I'm kind of feeling now that you're clearing up a cycle, or you're clearing up a karma with somebody who's not really able to show up for you. And you're in this position of power to be able to close that out. It's because of your intuition, and it's because of how you've been able to connect with yourself before this has happened. So I feel like that's why kind of timing is delayed on something, because you're meant to really go through this situation so you can trust your intuition and then make choices for yourself that are based off of your free will, and it clears up karmic energy. The Chariot, Six of Wands, and the Eight of Swords. Your clarity is able to bring other people clarity around you. And this is especially true in your love life. What you're going to be shown in the future is that as you hesitate less to make decisions, and as you hesitate less to make choices for yourself because of how clear things come through for you now, based on the work that you've been doing, your connection to yourself, I feel like the things that would become huge emotional or dramatic blockages or obstacles for you isn't something, they're not things that faze you at all anymore. This is what you're being prepared to experience. Because of that, I don't know if it's because you're able to do the right thing or say the right thing. There's people around you who shared a similar energy of being trapped or confused. It may even be the people that you're kind of like shutting a door on, but it's almost like just because of your energy or the way that you act, you're able to remove blindfolds from them. You're able to help clarify their energy. I'm seeing that once somebody sees you make a move or make a decision, or once somebody sees you act, it helps them. There could be like a lover or a love interest who's kind of immature in some ways, like emotionally maybe younger, or just doesn't know things the same way that you do. And this person starts to almost grow or see more just based off of your growth or what you're able to see. It's not like parasitic. It's just how energy's working between you two, probably because you guys are connected. I'll pull a little bit more on that. Page of Wands, Two of Wands, King of Pentacles. There's a lot of people coming out in this reading, so I feel like there's a strong social aspect to your future, whether you're gonna kind of rise up a little bit and be in more people's radar or frequency, or just more people come to you, or both. But I do see a lot of people around you in the next month or so. Somebody's kind of crossing a threshold to be able to reach you or to be able to come forward to you. You turned your back on somebody, and maybe you pursue this other relationship, or maybe you're just kind of keeping things light right now. But whoever you're turning your back on comes back in a completely different energy than before, where they might have sent you a bunch of energy and had you interpret it in like breadcrumb and you don't really understand, but then you kind of did understand. I feel like this person comes back after you turn your back on them, but it's not with any of those tricks, magic tricks, whatever you want to call it. There's humility there. And they're coming to you and kind of acknowledging the energy that you're in and who you are. And I think it's because you removed blindfolds from that person. We're moving back into messages for you. Keep in mind as you start to change, or as things start to change around you a lot in the next month or month, I would want to say. I want to say even up to 3 months. You'll require a lot of times to recalibrate. So this might show up to you as feeling like tired or just wanting your own space, and you're meant to really act on that, because I feel like what you're actually doing is you're like getting more spiritual downloads, or there's like information that you need to process, and when you have a lot of that to process, it's like your body almost on a physical level is just going to want to be alone. It's an energy thing. You'll feel that more and more, and instead of push through it, you need to take that time for yourself, and that kind of levels you up, like in small ways, maybe ways that you don't notice, but every time you do it, you're absorbing a new energy, new information, and it's becoming part of your energy body. And you're just going to be doing that a lot lately. And it's going to help you move into your more, what's the word for it? Your best self, your most connected self. Because I saw you right now in a really good space. You're in your 9 of Pentacles energy. But you're moving into like the final form of the Empress. In terms of your relationship with yourself. Now, the 9 of Pentacles, she's already good. He's already good. It's like a really good space to be in. It's abundant. It's, not plagued by shadow, devil, subconscious energy. But she's a bit isolated. She's not super magnetic. And I feel like what's happening here is the upgrade that's coming, the changes that are coming, is as you step into the upper version of what you can be, all these things just magnetize toward you. Opportunities, people, and that is what you're becoming, super magnetic, based off of your frequency, based off of your energy, based off of your thoughts and feelings. So anything coming up right now, especially sticky situations, are putting you to a test. They're sharpening you like a knife, so you could really become that energy, that spirit that your higher self signed you up to become in this lifetime. The Fool. So there's a reset coming. As you step into your final form, it's also a reset. As you step into that Empress energy, it's also a reset. Which may mean just letting go of baggage. No strings attached is what the Fool is saying. 10 of Swords. There's a rebirth. Okay, this is popping in my head really strong when I look at 10 of Swords. There's a scene in Batman Returns. Is it Batman Returns? With Catwoman, the 89, 92 movie, where she basically gets screwed over by her boss, which means he pushes her out of a window, and you'd think she's dead, but all the cats come out and they lick her and stuff, and then she's reborn, and she becomes Catwoman, right? She has all these cat-like powers, and she loses her mind in her apartment. Really cool scene. But you had your moment, evidently, in the past, I don't know if this was recent or a long time ago, where the boss pushed you out the window. So betrayal from a lover, from family, something really bad that basically killed you, right? And I feel like you went through your arc and now you're coming into who you really are. For Catwoman, who she really was Catwoman. She repressed her entire life, who she was, her power, and then she kind of lost her shit, but became Catwoman, who's arguably way cooler, right? And that's kind of like what you're going through. I'm not saying that you're a supervillain, but your true, authentic self, who you might have repressed or who you never knew was there through repression, is coming out now. And it kind of started with this, there's some kind of betrayal in your energy from the past. It could be a while ago. So don't be afraid to change. Some of you should not be afraid to change. Not all of you are afraid to, but some of you don't be afraid to change. In fact, you have to right now, if you feel called. Queen of Cups, Three of Wands, and the High Priestess. What you ask for right now will be coming in. So keep that in mind. For some of you, there's a friend who matches your frequency, or there's a friend coming in who matches your frequency on a spiritual level. This doesn't feel romantic, but there's like a counterpart coming into your energy. I don't know, like it could be a lot of different things. It could be like an author of like some kind of books that inspire you. It could be a YouTuber, but it's mostly probably somebody physical who matches you spiritually and is like showing you something, or your minds together or your energy together is able to create manifestations and resonate and bring things in. I do feel this is collaborative. So if this is a person, this is you guys being together simply creates that energy. If this is like a book or an author or somebody else, then it's the information that they give you and how you use it that creates that same kind of energy. But I feel for a lot of you, this is like an actual companionship that's in your physical life. Cards are going crazy. I'll jump back into romance in a little bit, but I want to continue with some of the personal messages that are coming out before we do more of the romance. What do you need to know right now? So we have the Journey coming out, and there's Chaos, Strength, the Trickster, very Halloween-y, the Trickster. Mask, Thief, the Warning, and Pursuit. Something that you've been chasing has taught you a lot, but also created a lot of chaos in your life. I think you're starting to realize that that's kind of like over now. The chaos, and probably the chase. You'll never be magnetic if you're chasing. And I think we kind of started with a similar message, so just keep that in mind. Nobody will view you as magnetic if you're chasing. It's just, it doesn't work. You chase, you're no longer magnetic. You're being pulled. Somebody really needed to hear that. But like, when you do stop chasing, you almost immediately become magnetic. Because the act of stopping that chase changes your energy. You want less. When you want less, you get more. It's different from having goals and being inspired, by the way. And acting on that inspiration. Chasing something that you desire is not acting on inspiration. There's nothing, inspired about, desiring something so badly. It's not an inspirational thing. It's based off of what your shadow craves because you're not giving it to yourself. The Jester. So heavy Fool energy coming out here. Quite a bit in this reading, which initially read as a reset, but again, looking at archetypes and people that do archetype work, the Fool could be very significant in this reading, or clowns in general. Clowns may come to you in some synchronistic way. Freaky as fuck, but like you might see a book with a clown on it, or there just might be a weird moment with a clown. So just so you know, keep your eye out. Chaos again coming out. All right, what do we want to know about chaos? Death and the Tomb, reverse. Heroism, upright. All right. Some of you have enmeshed yourself or submerged yourself in a very dark energy that you've been chasing. So I don't know if the chase created this dark energy in your energetic system, or the object of the chase, this person or goal, job, position. I don't know if that was a dark energy and you were just kind of like overlooking it, but it's almost like you strayed off path into utter darkness. It's even getting dark. Like there's a cloud covering up the sun right now as we talk about this. Basically, I see you getting so lost on this path. There was no other way to go but up, and there was no other person but yourself. It's like complete darkness. Whoever you were chasing or walking towards is gone. And like you don't even recognize yourself. You can't even look at your hands. That situation's over. I think I'm mostly talking about something in the past for a lot of you, but it actually, like, you're not in that dark space anymore. You've basically gotten out of it. There's still attachments there, but you can look at it more objectively now, and you could look at it with the light on you. It did you a lot of good to have gone through that alone. So I don't think you ended up getting what you were chasing. It's still, away. But what you did get, and you need to acknowledge, is like the strength card. You're like healthier now for having gotten lost and found again. It also taught you how to manage chaos, how to not invite it uninvited anymore. The sleepwalker. So for some of you, as your life clears up, your dreams clarify more. You'll see more in your dreams. Pay attention to your dreams. Some of you may have premonitions in your dreams of people who have bad intentions toward you. Pay attention to that. Basically what I'm seeing is that you won't have a bad dream about a good person, and you won't have a good dream about a bad person. Pay attention to your dreams. Always pay attention to how you feel about the dream during and immediately when you wake up, versus anyone's interpretation. It's always like, what did I initially feel? Decay, freedom, fearless, and awakener in the reverse. There's some mysterious figure who triggered so much within you, who's like still in shadow, but through that journey, you are free now. You're not scared anymore of the dark, I guess. And anything that was not necessary, that was attached to you, kind of rotted away, so shedding skin quite a bit. I want to jump back into love a little bit, and then we'll finish with some oracle messages just for the energy. So first question that I want to ask for your love life is, what do you need to know about this person? It did seem like there were multiple people in your life in the near future. I don't know if that's manifested yet, but when I say this person, who do you see in your mind? That's who this is probably going to be about.